Hey guys, it's that time again. League start is upon us, and I have an updated PoB full of. Hang on, what's this on my screen? I need to fix that 1 sec. Alright, there we go. We're not going Trickster anymore. We are going Frostblade's Warden because the damage looks absolutely nuts, and as you'll see in this PoB, there is some pretty crazy interactions going on with this isn't even everything because we don't even know what some of the enchantments are going to be. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be an amazing league for Frostblades. Trickster is still really good. That's why I've included some Trickster setups here too. But yeah, we'll just get straight into the PoB. So there's a notes section here. You can read through this in your own time. Just some pretty basic stuff. If you've never played Frostblades before, read through this, and this isn't a league start guide, but I will have Zish's league start guide linked in the PoB. So if you haven't league started Frostblades before, feel free to go follow that. He just uploaded that yesterday. But yeah, I wanted to go through some of the setups that I've got, so you can see this 1 billion damage number over here, I'm sure. So I just wanted to quickly go through a couple of the setups, show you how to use the new loadout system. So up here, this is new. So what it does is if you click like low budget, for example, Trickster, it'll change your tree, it'll change your skill gems, it'll change your items, and it'll change your configuration as well. So you don't have to go through and change all of these anymore. You can just click up here, and it'll change it to exactly what you need it to have, right? So for example, low budget Trickster sits at about 6 million damage. Warden is a little bit more. High budget Trickster sits at about 40 million damage. Warden is more than double that. And then Perfect Trickster, which has some really nice gear on it, obviously, sits at about 240 million damage, but does get ES and ES Leech from Soul Drinker now, which is really nice, which is something that Warden doesn't get access to. But then we go to Warden, and it goes up to 780 million damage. And then if you think you can somehow make a Mirror Claw and go Squire setup, you can get up to 1 billion damage with this setup, which is it's pretty crazy considering like this is the kind of damage numbers you're looking at with Mirror tier gear when Heat Shiver was 100%, not 30% like it is now. So the damage that this Ascendancy gives you is nuts. This thing right here, the 50 shocks to an enemy, 100% increased damage, is nuts. This, 2 Scorches, minus 60% ally res on all enemies, is nuts. Hoarfrost, this one we need to play with in game to see how it feels late game, to see if we want to drop it or not for like maybe Enduring Suffusion for tinctures. But yeah, we'll see how it feels. Or if we like struggle to keep the shocks up, if we don't want to use Defiled Forces to keep the shocks up, we can get rid of that and go Enduring Suffusion if tinctures are really, really broken. But yeah, like these two, like if you were going to drop, you would drop one of these two because the Scorch one is way, way, way too strong. You get so much damage from this, it's actually ridiculous. And this one, Avatar of the Wilds, Unbound Avatar. So this literally just says click a button, get 80% more elemental damage. That's what this says. If you have as many ailments as we do on Frostblades, it takes. If you're constantly attacking, you should be able to fully stack it in 5 seconds. But you can say about 6 seconds or 7 seconds if you want to be conservative. But yeah, with the 4 ailments that we have, or 5 ailments in some cases, but it just depends because you don't inflict brittle. You have it on your boots, so it doesn't count as an ailment for this. So you can stack this up in 5 seconds if you're constantly attacking. And just that node alone, look at the damage. It's literally like half your damage. And it's on a button like focus, so you can use it whenever you want. It's a really, really crazy node. And it's it's just like the amount of damage you get from this Ascendancy is nuts. Like you compare it to the Trickster, right? So you get polymath damage and you get swift killer damage, which is plus 2 frenzy charges, which is nice. Like this is good damage. And then you get a little bit of damage from here too, and you get the ES Leech, which is really nice with Ghost Stance. But like the damage, look how incomparable it is. Like This is with identical gear. I'll show you the gear differences. Like, they've got the same core, they've got pretty much the same gear, right? The only difference is I use evasion ES bases on the Trickster, so get more energy shields so that we can, have a better pool to leech from. And the Warden, there's really not much difference at all. Bit of a difference in the murderous jewels, but it doesn't matter. And the Warden gets 2 more gem slots as well, which is nice. Just how the tree works out and what you want to get. The Warden gets another 2 gem slots, which is pretty huge. And right now, like, there's probably better things you can do with these. I'm just using like really strong Viridian jewels in them. Not that one. This one. I'm just using really strong Viridian jewels for the most part, like, quad multi jewels for the endgame PoB. But like, there's probably some stuff you can do. I've tried some Thread of Hope stuff here, and I pathed over here before. I came down and got this, and got the Frenzy Charge here and the Gem Socket. Did some Thread of Hope stuff here, but none of it was better than just 2 large clusters from what I could find. You might be able to do some Unnatural Instinct stuff too. There is some more research that I haven't done on it, but as far as I can tell, this is pretty end-all be-all, and this is what you'll be looking at endgame with Frostblade's Warden. I'll just quickly go through the gear so you can see. So this is just... so you'd get Fractured Merciless Fizz on this, and you'd Essence spam it with the Flat Fizz Essence until you hit Hybrid Fizz. And then you would Reforge Speed until you hit Tier 1 attack speed, and then you do Prefixes Can't Be Changed, Veiled Orb, hope it hits the meta mod and not the attack speed, and Unveil Crit Multi or Crit Chance, whichever one you hit, and craft the other one. So it's a hard craft, but like it's not an undoable craft. All these items you can make, they've got ways to make them. They're not impossible. I've made these gloves last league and the league before. They're not that hard, they're just expensive. Boots like these I've made before. Like, all these items I've made before. This one is... yeah, that's basically the exact same. It's just instead of Fizz Take It As, which isn't a crafted one anymore, we get Avoid Ailments. So yeah, all these builds have full suppression, 95% evade at the top end. Some of them have like around 90%. Full capped res, ailment avoid, good mana cost. The mana cost won't be a problem. It's just, yeah, they're all like, it's not just, DPS numbers. They're pretty well rounded. The only thing is the life is low, but you can spec out of damage to get more life. That's not hard at all. Like you can see on Trickster, the Trickster's a lot better. 3,000 plus 1,600 energy shield. That's like, what, 4,700 life. The Trickster, you get a lot more tankiness from the ES stuff, which is nice, and you get more life too. But yeah, with Warden, the life is very low, but you can easily spec out of damage. You can drop a whole cluster, and you can grab like this life wheel here. You can grab... there was another life node that I don't remember where it was, but you know what I'm saying. There is life to be gotten if you want it, but the whole point of the Warden is Giga Deeps. You're going to be one-shotting everything. Why do you need life if you're freezing the whole screen and killing everything in one shot? So I'm going to be going for a very, very DPS-oriented approach like this. And yeah, feel free to look through all this stuff, have a look at like some of the ideas that I've come up with. The last thing I'll go over quickly is the new tech. What we can see from the enchants that were revealed is there's a +1 curse enchant. And if we can put that on the claw, which I have in the config here, we can apply an additional curse. But we have some free gems left over from totems. So we can go to here, and we can put Ellie Week on an Arcanist brand. You'll also put a Frostbomb on this, but I've got exposure on the gloves, so I don't need Frostbomb. But you can put Frostbomb and Alley Week on an Arcanist brand, and then you can anoint Defiled Forces, which is all the way up in the tree. This is Zish's tech, so thank you for sharing this with everyone. Basically, the brand will refresh the duration of all your ailments on an enemy, because you're cursing it every time the brand goes off. So this is how you are guaranteeing you get 250 shock stacks. And this does stack very quickly. It's just they only last 2 seconds, but with the Defiled Forces tech, they last forever. So they'll always be 50 shocked. So that's how we're guaranteeing the 50 shocks. The only thing I will say is on the Warden, the rage does take a little bit to stack because your only source of it is from the Lethal Pride. So I've got the Lethal Pride I've got on here at the moment has 2 rage on hit. So there's one there and there's one there. And it has an internal cooldown of 0.5 seconds. So you get 2 rage on hit, so 4 per second. So this takes about 7 seconds to charge up to full, 7.5 seconds to charge up to 30 rage. So this does take a little while to charge up, and this is 10 seconds of freeze on the enemy, so this obviously takes a while to charge up as well. But everything else here is, like, the uptime is really... Oh, and focus, obviously. Focus is pretty inflated DPS. But other than the focus and the 10 seconds of freeze, and to some extent the rage... everything is like full uptime. Like even if I take, so well, we're at 780 mil DPS. Let's put this down to like 4 seconds. We'll put the rage down to 16, and we'll put the take focus off completely. It's still 540 million DPS. It's huge. So yeah, this Ascendancy is no joke. In softcore, I would highly recommend giving it a go. I'm going to be league starting this. This is going to be my league starter. Again, if you want the league start guide, go to Zish's channel, and I'll have links in the PoB and probably in the description of the video too. If you want a full league start guide, if you haven't played Frostblades before. But yeah, this PoB is just to give you an idea of what endgame Trickster and Warden will look like this league for Frostblades. I would have made Slayer as well, but I've run out of time. So I need to get ready for my own league start. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And rip Trickster. Trickster logo is gone. We're Warden gamers now. So hope you guys all enjoy the Calgore League.